Good morning, students. Welcome to All Force e-learning classes. Today we are entering into the new chapter, that is Unit 2. The name of the chapter is Theories of Consumer Behavior. Before I enter into the second unit, I want to recap the first chapter, which we learned a lot of concepts, definitions and differences between different concepts. For example, we have seen first the meaning of economics, then we have seen 4 definitions, and we have learned a very important factor, that what are the factors that produce or which helps production. That plenty of times I told you, 4 factors of production: land, labor, capital and organization. They get the returns: rent, wage, interest and profit. Don't forget these these particular factors of production and their returns, because they play a vital role in economy. Okay, and after that we have seen different concepts: what is consumption, what is production, etc., etc. Next we have seen microeconomics and macroeconomics. Microeconomics discusses individual small units, macroeconomics discusses large and in toto aggregates. And we have seen what is a free good and economic good, how economic activities are related with economics. And also we have seen the differences between free and economic goods, how a free good will be converted into economic good. We have seen all of those concepts in detail in the first unit. Now we are entering into the second unit. And in the first unit itself, we had a discussion. Microeconomics, particularly microeconomics, discusses about different laws or models of economics. Here I want to put you a simple exemplary thing. Like in economics, also there are plenty of models comes onto the ramp. I'm not talking about that ramp. I'm talking about this board. We will see plenty of models which have been proposed by plenty of people before our times. Some of them are very important in both the ways. One is knowledge, another is marks wise. Finally, we want the marks in our marks sheet. Macro, that is not micro. If we get better marks, larger level of marks, that will get you a better job in the future, a better seat in the degree college. If you get best marks, you will be in the best college like Usmania campus. It's such a dream. To get all those things, you need to focus more on these models or laws which have been proposed by the great economists of before our times. Okay, there are plenty, but now for your knowledge, I am going to give some of them which are provided by our textbook. So the first one, we will see law of diminishing marginal utility. It is law of diminishing marginal utility. But before I enter into this law, I want to discuss the different concepts or topics which are going to prove us this law of diminishing marginal utility. So before we understand this particular topic, we need to understand some things or topics which are going to support us in understanding this law of diminishing marginal utility. So first we will see what is utility. I told you, no, law of diminishing marginal utility. Diminishes, decreases, marginal, additional, and utility. So we are not starting from the beginning, but we are starting from the last word, utility, which plays a vital role in our economics, in the total economy itself. So first we will see what is utility. Utility means the usefulness in any commodity is called as utility. I told you in the first chapter also. And not only that, the want satisfying power in any commodity is called as utility. See, This satisfies my want of showing this as a pointer. This is satisfying my want. It has a utility. Everything has a utility in this universe. Everything. You may be thinking certain things, they don't have any utility, that's why we throw it outside. No, they are not totally waste. They can be utilized to satisfy our different wants. Used plastic, yeah, it has its own utility. You can recycle it. A dead body will turn into the fertilizer. Even the wastage, like I should not use that word, but bull's wastage, that is also turned into what it is, dung cakes, okay, that they put to the wall. That is also useful. Yes, we will put it into the fire and we burn. See, everything has a usefulness. That usefulness in the commodity is called as utility. The want satisfying power in any resource is called as utility. Better always, before you come into the class, you keep a notebook, textbook and a pen with you. When I am explaining these things, immediately start writing in your notebook. At the same time, watch the textbook. In the textbook, you can see, you can understand those concepts much better, because we need to use 5 senses at a time. When you use 5 senses, you won't forget anything. Like when I am saying, your hearing is going on. When I am saying, your eyes are working out. At the same time, you feel it, you start writing it. Okay? Use your pen and start writing in the notebook. Utility means the want satisfying power in any commodity is called as utility. You can read it in the textbook too. Okay, now we will see this utility is divided into 2 types, cardinal and ordinal. Actually, this cardinal and ordinal numbers are taken from mathematics into economics. Okay, now here we will see the want satisfying power in a commodity can be measured in 2 levels, are calculated in 2 levels. One is cardinal utility, another is ordinal utility. First, let us see the cardinal utility. Cardinal utility means where we use the cardinal numbers to measure or compare, see, to measure and compare the satisfaction which we derive from the commodity. Again, I tell you, listen carefully. Using the cardinal numbers, you know, these are called cardinal numbers, these are called ordinal numbers. Using the cardinal numbers for measure the satisfaction from the commodity, measuring, that is comparison and measuring. If you use the cardinal numbers, then that utility measurement is called as cardinal utility. Because here we are going to use these both in economics. Okay, so here we are going to use the cardinal utility in the law of diminishing marginal utility. But for our further use, we will try to understand these 2 concepts in detail. So cardinal utility have 2 advantages. One, you can measure exactly and you can compare exactly. Both are possible. Like 2 is 2 times greater than the 1. 4 is 2 times greater than the 2. See, exactly we can say how much bigger we can measure, even we can compare which is bigger, which is smaller. When we are using which is bigger than, which is smaller than, then it is automatically a comparison. And measurement also, 2 is 2 times, see the measurement, 2 times bigger than 1. 3 is exactly 3 times bigger than 1. 4 is 4 times bigger than the 1, 2 times bigger than the 2, than the comparison. Okay. At the same time, we know exactly which is in which place supposed to be kept. So if you are measuring the utility, the satisfaction with the help of cardinal numbers, then it is cardinal utility. Any more doubts? If you have any doubt, you can communicate me. Okay. Now let us go to the second one, ordinal utility. Even though in this topic we are not going to use the ordinal utility, but still you need to know the concept. You need to have the information. Already I told you, information taking is at two levels: knowledge base, marks base. Now for the knowledge base you can have this. We will discuss about this in the same chapter, but in the third law we will use this ordinal utility. So these are called as ordinal numbers: first, second, third, etc., etc. These ordinal numbers, if you use to measure utility, want satisfying power, then that utility is called as ordinal utility. In ordinal utility you can compare, but you cannot exactly measure. See, second one is bigger than the first, comparison, but you cannot say exactly how much bigger. See here, first one is smaller than the second one, you can say this, comparison, but not exactly how much smaller, how much bigger, you cannot exactly measure. So here it is possible 2 is greater than the second one is greater than the first one, or second one is smaller than the first one is also possible. Possible, no? When we are making the comparison, the second commodity, like, let me show you these two chalk pieces. This is 1, this is 2. I can say this is 1, this is 2. Okay, second one is bigger than the first one, or we can say second one is smaller than the first one. See, it can be compared but not exactly measured. How much smaller or how much bigger? You can make a comparison. This is smaller, this is bigger. But how much this is small, how much this is bigger than this one, we are not making exact measurement, which is possible in cardinal utility and which is not possible in ordinal utility. You got the exact idea? Bigger than this one, smaller than this one, this measurement or this comparison only possible with ordinal utility. So when we are using the words, the numbers of ordinal to measure, or sorry, not measure, compare utility, then we will call it ordinal utility. If satisfaction from the commodities is measured by the help of ordinal numbers, then that satisfaction measurement is called as ordinal utility. Any confusion? So we have seen cardinal utility, ordinal utility. These two are very important. In the IP, that is final inter-passing exam, you will see any one of these two concepts in the 2 marks question. So that's why you can understand the importance of these two topics. If you remember these two topics, you got 2 marks. Maybe that 2 marks make the difference in between your state rank, having or missing. So that's why keep everything in your gray matter. There is enough TBs of area, I mean terabytes of area in your brain. Okay, so cardinal utility means if you use the cardinal numbers to measure utility, then that measurement is called as cardinal utility. In this one, measuring as well as comparison is possible. Ordinal, if you use ordinal numbers to measure the satisfaction, or not measure, compare the satisfaction, then it will be called as ordinal utility. Comparison is possible in ordinal utility. Measuring as well as comparison is used in the cardinal utility. Clear? Any more doubts? Cardinal utility for 2 purposes: exact measurement and comparison. Ordinal utility, only one thing is possible: comparison. Any doubts? Hope it is clear. Now we will go to the total utility. As the commodities goes on increasing, utility also goes on increasing. Yes or no? See, you went for shopping. First you purchased your favorite jeans. Why I am using particularly jeans is that is suitable for boys as well as girls nowadays. Okay, you purchased a jeans that is a dark blue color. Then you went to another shop. You got some satisfaction out of that dark blue jeans. Some utility you already derived. You went to another shop. Which one we will say? Jagadamba. In Jagadamba you purchased dark blue color jeans. You got some satisfaction. Let us say some satisfaction like 20 units of satisfaction. 20 utils of satisfaction. Utility measured in utils. 20 utils of satisfaction. Utils of satisfaction. And next, as you get down, you have seen the Kamal. You entered into the Kamal. There, one more jeans is very good. So immediately you purchased another jeans. But this time it is a light blue color. But it is almost near to the first dark blue jeans. Okay. See, already you purchased one jeans. You got 20 utils of utility. Then immediately if you purchase another jeans, the second one is also going to get you some utility, satisfaction. But the satisfaction generally decreases. Generally decreases. We will discuss about this in the next topic, that is law of diminishing marginal utility. You just try to understand, as the quantity increases, satisfaction goes on decreasing. But even though it is decreasing, total utility is going to increase because the quantity of commodities is increasing. First it was only one, now 2 commodities, now 3 commodities. You can see exactly. Now here you can understand very easily. If you have only 1 commodity, 2 utils. If you have only 2 commodities, it is going to be 35 utils. If you have 3 commodities, from 3 together, put together, you will get the satisfaction of 45 utils. Yes or no? So total utility means total satisfaction depends upon the quantity of the commodity. Here that's why we write this equation as total utility of a commodity, n commodity, have a functional relation. You know what is functional relation? The working relation with quantity of n commodity. It may be X, Y, Z. Total utility of n commodity have a functional relation with quantity of that particular commodity. For example, as the quantity increases, total utility also increasing. With the first only 1 unit, you got 20 utils. As the quantity increased to 2, not 1 anymore, 2. From second you got only 15. See, listen here. From second you got only 15. But 1 and 2 put together, you got 35 utils of satisfaction. You are getting the exact idea? Don't get confused. From 1 you got 20 utils. From second you got 15 utils. But from 2, from both of them, you got 35 utils. Clear? Okay. From third you got only 10 utils. See, the utility is decreasing. From third you got 10. But out of 3, 1, 2, 3 put together, you got 40 utils of satisfaction. So that's why what we say, total utility of n commodity equals to the functional relation with quantity of n commodity. Any doubt? Oh, there is no doubt. Okay, again we will have a discussion about this later classes. If you get confused, repeat it, see it, watch it, but write it down first. Read it in your textbook. Still you get any doubt? I am there to recap tomorrow. Okay, next we will see marginal utility. Marginal utility. Marginal means additional. Marginal means additional, extra, additional. For example, in your home, if there is only one mobile phone, then it is the only one. But for your education purpose, your papa purchased one more cell. because nowadays you are listening all the classes in smartphone, because this is the world of smart, right? So see, the second phone is marginal or additional phone. When you see the first time your father's cell, you are so happy to have it in your hands. See, now you have your own cell, you are again very happy with your own cell. But if your papa purchased the same type of, same model, same company, same color, everything same cell, again another one he gives it to you, you get the same level of satisfaction? Really tell me. There is no difference in between those two cells. Anyway you are using one, why do you need another cell? You don't need it, because it is an additional one. The satisfaction also you are going to get less. That here we have seen. If the commodity is same, then as the quantity increases, the satisfaction decreases. If the quantity is same, but first he given you dabba cell, not a smart one, dabba cell. Then he given you some Chinese piece which will be spoiled within months or year, and later he will get you a South Korean product, Samsung. Later something, the best one, like what it is, Apple phone. See, the quality is changing, company is changing, product is changing, satisfaction goes on increasing. But if he gets you the same phone, again same model, again and again, satisfaction decreases. So additional commodity, whatever the satisfaction gives to you, that is called as additional satisfaction. In our economics language, that additional satisfaction, marginal satisfaction from additional commodity, marginal commodity, we call it as marginal utility. You know, utility means satisfaction from the commodity. Okay, utility is satisfaction from commodity, is what we are deriving from additional or marginal good, is called as marginal utility. The additional satisfaction from additional commodity is additional utility. The marginal utility or marginal satisfaction from marginal commodity is called as marginal utility. Any confusion? Say this. Whenever I say marginal, you will say additional. Marginal, yes, good. Additional. Now I say additional, you say marginal. Additional, marginal. Marginal, additional. Additional, marginal. Means what? Marginal utility means additional utility, extra utility, in simple language. Okay, that can be measured in two levels. This marginal utility can be measured in two types. One is marginal utility of n commodity equals to total utility of n commodity and minus this from TUN1, previous one. Then you will get additional utility. For example, here I can show you. See, first one is how much? 20. TUN means 35. TUN1 means 20. 35 minus 20 is equal to 15. So, to get the exact idea how much satisfaction we got from second commodity is, take the total utility, that was 35 minus, see here, TUN means 35 minus previous one, present one, previous one. If you remove previous one from present one, you will automatically get the marginal utility. For example, here I show you. With these two commodities, we will go with only two commodities. What is the present one? 35. This is TUN minus TUN minus 1. What is the previous one? 20. 20. What is the marginal utility? 15. Can you see that? 35 minus 20. You will get 15. 35 minus 20. You got 15. This is from second commodity. If still we want to go, see, with three commodities, how much did we get? 45. That is TUN. Okay. Divided by TUN1 n minus 1. That is what? Previous one. How much was the previous one? 35 minus 35. What is the marginal utility? 10. You can see it here, 10. So from the present one, if you remove the previous one, you will get the marginal utility. From the present one, if you remove the previous one, you will get the marginal utility. That is being shown here. That is one method. Second method is delta TU by delta Q. Delta means what? Change. Difference. Difference between these two things. Now we will see in detail what is the difference. 22, 35. Difference is how much? Delta TU is 15. Like 15. And delta Q, how much quantity difference did come? 1. Is equal to how much? 15. See, first we will see 20, 35 put together. First commodity, second commodity. Put together, we got 35. So, to get the exact idea, what is the difference in between these two? So, 35 minus 20, 15. So, delta TU, the difference in the TU, previous TU and now, whatever the TU. The difference is how much? 15. 35, 20. Difference is how much? 15. And quantity difference is how much? 1. 15 divided by 1 is equal to 15. That is the marginal utility. These are the two methods we use to measure marginal utility. Again, we will recap tomorrow. By the time your understanding level automatically changes. I don't want to push you too much or put too much of stress on you people. Now we will enter into the law of diminishing marginal utility. Already you understood what is marginal. Marginal, additional. Utility, satisfaction. So, this law of diminishing marginal utility is being proposed by H. Gaussen in 1854. Hermann Henrik Gaussen. It is too lengthy. So, we will simply call Gaussen. He proposed this law in 1854. Actually, he proposed two laws. One is diminishing marginal utility, another is equimarginal utility. But we are going to discuss now at this moment diminishing marginal. Diminishing means decreasing. Marginal means additional. Utility means satisfaction. Decreasing, additional, satisfaction. This law explains us decreasing, additional, satisfaction, proposed by Gaussen in 1854. And this is his first law. I told you, he proposed two laws. Out of those two laws, this is the first one. But he did not develop it. He did not try to prove it, which is being done by Alfred Marshall. Alfred Marshall, in book of Principles of Economics in 1890, he detailedly discussed and explained this law of diminishing marginal utility. In his book of what? Principles of Economics. We have seen this in the first unit at the time of definitions. Principles of Economics, which is written in 1890 by Alfred Marshall. According to him, let me read this step by step. You can see in the textbook or on the board. The additional benefit which a person derives, additional benefit, extra benefit or advantage which a person derives, gets, additional satisfaction which he gets from a given increase, increasing the commodity, a given increase of his stock. See, the stock is increasing. A given increase in his stock. Here is only 1, 2, now 3. Stock is increasing. Given increase of his stock of a thing, whatever it might be. It may be mangoes. Nowadays, summer, no? A lot of mangoes. So, mangoes quantity is increasing that diminishes with every increase in the stock that already he has. Let me read out again the definition. The additional benefit which a person derives from a given increase of his stock of a thing diminishes with every increase in stock that he already has. If you go on increasing the stock, the satisfaction with every increase goes on decreasing step by step. Actually, total utility increases, but marginal utility decreases. That's why this law is called as law of diminishing marginal utility. We are not talking about total utility. This is for our advantage to understand what is the difference in between these marginal utilities. We go with total utility. But this law is specially for explaining the marginal utility. It goes on diminishing. It's a very important topic, in fact, which takes more than 30 minutes. So here I introduced you only the concepts. In these concepts we have seen what is utility, what is cardinal utility, what is ordinal utility. Cardinal utility uses cardinal numbers. Here two things possible, measuring and comparing. Ordinal utility uses ordinal numbers. Here only comparison is possible. Total utility, along with the quantity of commodities, satisfaction also goes on increasing. Put together all commodities, we will see the total utility. So the law, this total utility is mathematically can be explained as TUN is equal to F of QN. Total utility of N commodity have a functional relation with quantity of N commodity. Next we will see marginal utility. From additional commodity, whatever the satisfaction we derive, that is called as marginal utility. That can be proved with the mathematical equation. MUN, marginal utility of N commodity, is equal to total utility of N commodity present, total utility of N minus 1 commodity, previous one. So present one is 35, previous one is 20. 35 minus 20, you will get 15. That is a marginal utility. If the present one is 45 and previous one is 35, then the marginal utility is 10. In this way we will prove this mathematical equation. Next one is marginal utility is equal to delta TU by delta Q. Delta means change. How much change occurred in the total utility divided by how much change occurred in the quantity. If the change occurred only 15 and quantity change is only one commodity, then 15 by 1 equals to 15. We are entering into the law of diminishing marginal utility, decreasing additional satisfaction, which is being proposed by H.H. Gaussen in 1854, but developed and presented by Alfred Marshall. According to him, the marginal satisfaction which a person gets from a given increase, means going on increasing of his stock, mangoes, that thing is mangoes, stock of mangoes diminishes. What diminishes? Satisfaction diminishes with every increase in the stock of the mangoes. Mango stock as goes on increasing, the satisfaction will goes on. What satisfaction? Additional satisfaction is goes on decreasing. So if you go on increasing the same type of commodities stock, the additional satisfaction goes on decreasing. Even though total utility, total satisfaction increases, but additional satisfaction decreases. We will discuss about this law in the next class. Okay? Till then.